Don't let anyone, because there are going to be tons of people, I get it pretty much every day, tell you that you cannot travel with a baby or you can't travel and be pregnant. That is absolute bullshit. Let's talk about traveling while you're pregnant. Ladies who are pregnant out there, ladies who are thinking about getting pregnant, and gentlemen who may have a lady in their life, either now or in the future, who's pregnant but wants to travel, this video is for all of you. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kristen Sarah and I run Hopscotch the Globe, which is this channel, this brand with my husband Sia. We've been traveling the world for over 12 years now, pretty much nonstop. And now instead of 2 of us, there's 3 of us. And actually currently there's 2 of us traveling, me and the baby. I'm currently in my 2nd trimester traveling, and I've continued to do it. There's no stopping me. There's no stopping me now. There's no stopping me when I have a baby either. You mother beeper. That is what my husband is now. The camera moved. Now the framing is gonna be off, but life goes on. Let's get to some of these amazing questions you guys are asking on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the YouTube community tab. On the YouTube community tab, Velvet Sky said that she is currently pregnant. First of all, huge congratulations to you. This is super exciting. Such a great time for both of us, and we get to do it together, which I love. I love that there's actually so many of you guys out there who are part of this community who are also pregnant, and we get to do this together. So Velvet asked, how do you stay comfortable during travel? I'm pretty much not comfortable all the time to a certain extent. Doesn't matter if I'm traveling or not. When it comes to plane travel, the least favorite part of mine of traveling in general, especially pregnant, but there are ways to make it more comfortable. 1, get an aisle seat. You're gonna be getting up to pee so often. It also gives you more room to like spread out your legs if you need to. I go to the washroom now, like every 20 minutes, sometimes even more. And because you want to stay hydrated, extra hydrated when you're flying, you're gonna end up going to the washroom probably every 5 minutes, if you're like me. It is always important to stay hydrated for everyone who flies, but it is especially important for pregnant women. I get up at least once an hour to move around, to stretch. I do like yoga, I do some like crazy stretches in the aisle. I don't care what people think. They look at me like I'm crazy, but you know what? Taking care of my body. The reason for this is because pregnant women are more prone to blood clotting during pregnancy, and we don't want that. If I am taking an overnight flight and I know the airline provides those like small pillows, I ask for an extra one so I can put it in the lower part of my back to give me extra support. Or if not, then I'll just roll up one of my sweatshirts and put it there, and then it just gives that extra cushion, which is really nice. Caro asked, what countries will you be visiting while pregnant? What precautions do you take? And are there any places you can't visit for health reasons? So the first part, what countries will you be traveling to? Again, I've been pregnant for 5 months now, so I've been traveling pretty much the whole time and pretty much nonstop. So I will continue traveling until I'm basically told I'm not allowed to anymore, which will most likely be by the airline because they only allow you to travel up to the 35-week mark, and then you can't anymore. They won't let you on. Throughout this pregnancy, I'm basically doing a lot of North American travel through Canada and the US, as well as Europe and parts of Asia. I'm going to Japan. There have been quite a few opportunities that have come to us as travel influencers. We worked with different tourism boards and brands, and I haven't been able to say yes to those destinations because there's a chance of malaria or Zika. Those are the 2 main ones. And even if it's a slight chance, it's not one I want to take. I'd rather just wait until the baby's born and then go travel with the baby. My husband Sia though is going on those trips by himself, and he's gonna have a fantastic time, like South Africa. He was just in Jamaica twice. So there's a lot of trips and travels coming up that we're gonna share with you on this channel, but I will not be traveling to some places because of those health risks. Zika, the scary Zika, like all my friends are terrified of Zika. So many people who are like planning on getting pregnant or pregnant tell me they're terrified of Zika and traveling anywhere, and it's not all over the world. There was an outbreak that happened a few years ago now, which really scared a lot of people. And it was especially in South America, Central America. And there were a lot of babies that were affected because the mother was pregnant at the time and got the Zika virus and passed it to their fetus. Now that it has died down a bit, there's still alerts online that tell you if you're pregnant, you shouldn't travel to these places. And if I wasn't pregnant, I wouldn't really even bat my eyes at the fact of possibly getting Zika. Not that it's not possible, but it's just so slim. and just something that I wouldn't really, like, it wouldn't stop me from traveling. But because I'm pregnant, I'm not taking any chances of something happening, and then the rest of my life, the rest of my husband's life, and the rest of the baby's life is a struggle when it could have been prevented. Jaya Shah asked, what are some safety tips while being pregnant and traveling? I would look up the place that you want to go and see if there are any health risks, and it's up to you to evaluate what you feel. I personally don't want to take malaria pills or use heavy DEET bug spray, because that's stuff going into my body that I don't want to pass on to my baby when I can just avoid it altogether. Other travel tips would be to make sure that you are healthy, you're good, you've gone to your recent checkup and everything looks good, you're healthy, so that you can continue to travel. And it's good to talk with your doctor and tell him or her that you are going to be traveling. If you know you're pregnant, try to avoid doing extra crazy adventurous activities that could lead to you falling or getting hit hard in the stomach. Also, have travel insurance, and make sure your travel insurance covers you for being pregnant if anything happens when you're abroad. It's also good to see in the city you're staying where the closest doctor's office or hospital is, just in case anything happens. Monica Newland asked, do you recommend not traveling the first trimester? That is completely dependent on the individual, because some women have horrible first trimesters where they are puking nonstop, they can't get out of bed, and no one's gonna want to travel at that time. For me, I wasn't at my best. I was nauseous, I was tired. I didn't enjoy travel as much in my first trimester as I have in my second, where I have a lot more energy. I would recommend to do more travel in your second trimester and leave your first and your third more to staying at home. Not that you can't travel, but it could be a little bit trickier, especially if you're not staying in a place for a long period of time. Also, it depends on your health and depends on your pregnancy and how it's going. It's best to talk to your doctor, your midwives, and tell them your travel plans and see what they say. In your first trimester, you have a lot of doctor's appointments, at least I did. And just to make sure everything was good, I got all of my prenatal testing done to make sure the baby's healthy. I got my testing done to make sure I'm healthy. I had to go to a couple ultrasounds, meet with the midwives. Like, I was pretty busy with these appointments. And as the pregnancy goes on into the second trimester, I only have one appointment that I need to go to. And then in the third trimester, again, you're going to more appointments. So second trimester, that is the best trimester to travel. Going to Instagram now. Sonia Double G asks, what's the worst thing about traveling pregnant? Has peeing been an issue? Well, you nailed it spot on. Peeing is like a nightmare when you're traveling pregnant. I've already gone twice during this video. When you're pregnant and you have to pee, you go. You don't wait. Men who are traveling with their ladies, if your lady's gotta pee, you make sure she gets to pee. My number one thing when doing any excursions that includes a bus, I ask, does the bus have a toilet? Even if it is planning to stop along the way, if the journey is long and it doesn't have a toilet on the bus, I'm like, nope, I ain't doing it, because I know how uncomfortable I'm gonna feel since I have to go so often. So that has been like the worst, because I was on a bus that did not have a toilet, and that is when I learned that I will not take any others without a toilet. And it was so painful to hold it, even though I asked the bus driver to stop, and he did. There was so many other people in the bus, and I just felt like an inconvenience. He did stop twice along our 4-hour journey, and it was the best pee of my life. Where is Mirnag? When will you stop traveling, and for how long after the baby is born? I'm gonna travel till basically like the 7-month mark, or 35 weeks, when I can't take a flight anymore. And as long as I'm healthy and I'm good and my doctor says, you're good, then I'm just gonna keep traveling until the airlines kick me off. After the baby's born, we're planning to take a month off completely, which I have not done in like 8 years. It's crazy to think about. And we're gonna be waiting until the baby is able to get vaccinated, because we don't wanna take them on a plane, for example, and expose them to potential illnesses. Babies' immune systems are really weak at that point. So we want to build that up a little bit, make sure they're vaccinated, and the doctor gives them the thumbs up. And then we're planning to move to Costa Rica, to be continued. Sia is going to continue to travel though. He's actually going on a cruise that you guys can join. I'll leave information in the description box below. It's a creator influencer travel cruise, which is super fun. I think they're going to some parts of Florida and Mexico. I can't because they won't let the baby on the board and I have to breastfeed baby. So that's cool. Sia will be there. He'll be continuing his travels. All right, friends, there's so many more questions that I still have to answer. Some of your questions I'm gonna make into completely like just videos on their own. If you have a question you haven't asked yet, please do so in the comment below and I will get to them. There is so much we can do when it comes to being pregnant as a traveler, so we can do a whole series on this. We will be doing a whole series on this, so keep those questions coming. And for those out there who are pregnant or thinking about being pregnant and who want to still travel, girls, guys, men, ladies, you can. Don't let anyone, because there are going to be tons of people, I get it pretty much every day, tell you that you cannot travel with a baby or you can't travel and be pregnant. That is absolute bullshit. The poop of a bull. That is what that is. And when people come to us and say, well, what are you gonna do now that you're pregnant? You can't travel anymore. You can't travel, you're pregnant. I love it because I go, watch me.